It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. My name is Ruth, and I say welcome to the X-Ray. Joining me in the studio, as always, is Oikeke Igadukure. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And of course, we have Olive Nwoke Onokwai. Good morning to you as well.
Good morning.
Well, on X-Ray, we always take a look at trending issues that has dominated our headlines in the country. And today we want to focus on the SANU-NASU strike as it shuts down universities. Now, virtually all universities across the country were shut down yesterday in compliance with the directive of the Joint Action Committee to embark on strike action to press home their demand. The Joint Action Committee, which comprises of 3 university unions, that is SANU, NASU and NAT, have said the industrial action will not end anytime soon as compliance level hits 90%. The group had at the weekend directed their members in a letter to embark on an indefinite strike which commenced yesterday. Now, as the 3 non-academic staff union of universities down tools, Nigerians have expressed dissatisfaction over what they described as incessant strike by the unions. Speaking with our correspondents in Abuja, some Nigerians maintained that industrial action should not always be the only option to get things done.
Strike is not the best option for them. I don't think they really push the government. Let them try and push the government, involve the parent with their needs, and let the government understand those their needs are critical and important for the institution to work well. The students being idle at home, they will be tempted to do some things that are no good, either to provoke the parents, and the government may decide to say no work, no pay, which is not good for the teachers too, because it has happened before when they go on strike.
Strike is always the last option. It is when they have exhausted all the channel of negotiation, but it depends on the negotiation they had with government. Maybe the government was not coming to terms with what they bargained, so based on that they have no option than to go to strike, because at the end of the day it's the student that suffers. When 2 elephants are fighting, the grass is that suffers. And that's why most of the Nigerian politicians, all these looters, end up sending their wars abroad.
The government don't respect the agreement. Every minister comes in, enters into an agreement. Agreement is not the missile to the coming government. There's nothing these universities can do or the unions can do other than to resort to strike. They are not striking so that you give them the money for them to eat. It's to better the educational sector, to put my children, your children, and their own children. Unfortunately, most of these government functionaries, their children are not schooling here. If their children are schooling here, they could have taken time. If I were to be in the corridors of power, I must make sure that every government official must have his children in the Nigerian university.
I don't mind this devil's workshop. When they are idle at home, they will be thinking all sorts of negative things they will do.
The polytechnics in Nigeria just called off their strike last week. I'm still a student. I couldn't defend my project because of the strike. And now they just called it off last Thursday. We lost a year and 3 months. The government should be responsive.
Strike is never the best option. It will not help them, to not help the children in the school also. They should open for more consultations and dialogue. If there is need to involve other stakeholders, they should involve other stakeholders.
Right, those were voices of concerned Nigerians with their thoughts about the ongoing strike. Now, the trio of NASU, SANU and NAT announced the resumption of their suspended industrial action, citing the failure of government to clarify issues bordering on the disbursement of funds released. We may recall that, they went on this strike sometime in September, and so they are reviewing and resuming on the strike based on the reason here that none of their demands have been attended to. What's your contribution on this?
The university strike, staff strike, ASU, NASU and other unions, it has become a very common thing. I don't know each of the years that passed and we didn't have strikes either by the academic staff union or the non-academic staff union. And this strike have done so much harm in the education sector, especially as it has to do with the effect on the Nigerian student to start with. But ASU, in as much as we believe that the strike shouldn't be always the options for them to take, we also want the federal government to also know that they should honor their agreement. Though, like we know, most of these demands are demands that have been on ground, have been reasons why NASU and ASU goes on strike all the time. These demands have always been there in terms of infrastructure in the institutions, in terms of corruption in the institutions and all that. But what we see is that the corruption thing and then the lack of infrastructure thing has been on and it's been going, but these people go on strike when it has to do with the monies. Okay, but so right now this what is causing the strike is as part of the demands, the salaries and allowances. I think about 23 billion naira was released by the federal government into the sector. So now their thing is that why should ASU take, I think ASU is taking about 15 point something billion of the said 23 billion, and then about 7 point something, about 8 million, I'd say 7.9 something is being given to the non-academic staff. They want the federal government to explain how they arrive at this allocation. And they gave federal government about 7 days. I think the federal government should have answered them or probably explained why ASU is taking so much and then they are taking this much. But by the end of the day, according to the letter that they sent, they said they didn't hear anything from the federal government. So dialogue is the key. We should be able to dialogue. The unions and federal government should be able to sit, though they dialogue all the time, but then if there's a need for explanation, federal government should explain. But these unions too, they should look at the effects on the Nigerian student. When we have cases of prolonged, you have to spend extra years to obtain a degree, it affects the quality of education. You know, we've been talking about the quality of graduates that we churned out. These are some of the issues. A situation where you keep, like one of the person said in the other report, that he spent over a year at home, and then the students come back and then you give them a crash program. You just you don't discuss the curriculum in details again. You push them to write exams. You know, it affects the quality of education that we have.
Wouldn't that be them being emotional about it? I mean, if they look at it that way, if there are things they know government need to sit up and, you know, pay attention to, and they hold on to the fact that, okay, this may affect, you know, it may be like this or not so healthy educationally, so to speak, to the students. Wouldn't it? I mean,
you mentioned something earlier, which is that this strike has been reoccurring, you know, from time to time, and then their demands have remained the same. Then one will now wonder why they call off the strike each time they have a discussion with government that involves money. You know, this is one of the reasons why a lot of Nigerians,
they will do, and so they would.
Sometimes it's something, it involves money. So now a lot of Nigerians are actually getting tired, you know, the excuses every time and all that. So people are no longer concerned with the excuse they give for embarking on strike. The concern now is the effect it has on these students. Because you know the sad thing is this, even when they embark on strike, when you resume as a student, you pay fees. They don't tell you not to pay the school fees for a particular semester because they did not teach you anything. And then once they resume, they hurriedly, if it's something that is supposed to, if it's a course that is supposed to, the teaching is supposed to spread for like 4 months, they hurriedly do it in 2 weeks. And you are still made to write the same exam. Even
and
when you are not
to
really,
pass.
and you are expected to pass. And then, you know, we keep wondering why Nigeria keep churning out graduates that are not even employable and all that. And then how do we begin to end this? We spoke about dialogue, which is very key. And then again, the most important thing will be a timely dialogue, because each time, you know, this university union hold graduates to ransom, and when they have issues with government, it ends up telling on the students, because at the end of the day, government will anyhow dialogue with them. But the thing is, it might not really come timely. That's why I agree with her when she said, by the letter they wrote earlier, there should have been a kind of communication from federal government back to them, like, you know, some explanation and all that. Because at the end of the day, if they choose to be on strike till next year, they will still sit down to discuss with them. So why not make it timely?
You know, this strike one, the unions earn their monies even while the strike is going on, even though with the threat that no work, no pay. But the salaries don't stop. So by the end of the day, it's the Nigerian students that you know, and then you keep the students that we want to occupy because of the issues that we have on ground now. You leave students idle for months, for over a year. So what do you expect them to begin to do? They can begin to go into things that we don't want them to go into. All right. So I think these unions should begin to consider, a lot of them, these comrade union members and even the government officials, a lot of them enjoyed scholarships while they were schooling, and they also enjoyed uninterrupted academic sessions. All right. So but now they don't care anymore. What the only thing they need to do is that for us to drive home our point, we need to go off and shut down the universities, and then it gives them time to prepare to write their books, and by the end of the day sell to these same students again, hold them by their balls, and then you have to buy, because if you don't buy, you may be losing some marks, or you go out of favor with the lecturer. So it's a whole lot of issues that we need to address.
And
okay.
there's something
we'll take your thoughts. Just hold it there, please. We need to go on a commercial break at this point. We'll come right back and we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Human Rights Radio.
Bumper sales this Christmas at the Food, Fashion and Home Christmas Bumper Sales from the 30th of November till the 9th of December. Come get all your food, fashion and even household accessories for this remarkable low prices. Where? At Kilometer 8, Airport Road, POA, Abuja. It is the same venue as the Abuja International Trade Fair.
Merry Christmas.
The Food, Fashion and Home Christmas Sales at the Abuja International Trade Fair Complex. For more inquiries, do call 0803-704-6138 or 0701-340-7154. Be there.
Human Rights Radio.
Are you looking for a stimulating working environment with exciting projects and an amazing 100,000 naira salary? For full details on how to apply, visit www.mylearningacademy.com and check the announcement page for more details. My Learning Academy, your reliable online learning educational partner. www.mylearningacademy.com.
Human Rights Radio.
Mama Hawa, now where you dey carry table go so?
I just want use antanda take spread this cloth there when I wash for this wire.
You know sabi say this one electric wire?
I sabi now, but
waiting, you no know say na danger you dey take the place so. In case you no sabi, to dey spread the wet cloth on top electric wire fit kill person or even sef. No put your television antenna near electric wire, and if you see any electric wire wey rainstorm fall for ground, abeg you no near am o. To dey build, buy and sell, or to dey perform any kind human activity under power line na invitation to danger. When you dey build your house, you must to leave space between the house and the electricity installation, just as law talk am. Make we all dey follow these simple warnings so that we no go put our life and the life of people wey dey around us for danger.
From where you get all this important information?
From Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, the company wey care well for the safety of im customers for Kogi, Nasarawa and Niger State, plus including the Federal Capital Territory Abuja. Abuja Electricity Distribution Company want make you stay alive to enjoy them services. Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, power of commitment.
Human Rights Radio.
Trade Fair. It is happening now until 23rd December at Kaura Modern Market, opposite Prince and Princess, with 50% discount on every item you pick. Hurry now while stock lasts.
Make we scatter this place tonight.
Abuja, get ready! Get ready for the biggest show ever as the Backyard present Face of the Voice, featuring music, dance, comedy, fashion, and many more. Music performance by Lucky J, King Pause, Yankees, Formidable, Guns, comedy by MC Asawana, MC Shawama, MC Henry, Dumebi, dance performance by Ram, Smart Angel, Benzi, Boss Lady, Itoro, and 3D dancers. And on the wheels of steel is DJ Gaga, side attraction, dance battle, rap battle, fashion runway by the Backyard Models and Wale House of Fashion. Date Saturday 9th December 2017. Time red carpet 5 p.m. Main event 6 p.m. Venue the Backyard Abuja off Arab Road behind Customary Court, Kubwa, Abuja. Get fee, eat free. For table reservation, call this number 0706 5783 678. Face of the Voice is sponsored by the Backyard Abuja. My backyard, your adventure.
Human Rights Radio.
Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week, MNCHW, is primarily aimed at reducing newborn and child mortality and to improve maternal health in the FCT. The program is slated for 4th to 8th December 2017. Theme, a package of care for a healthy family. You will receive the following services free at all government health centers in the FCT. Health education, hand washing, exclusive breastfeeding EBF, complementary foods, ORT, demonstration and distribution of sachets, nutritional assessment, immunization, RI antigens and TT for women, deworming tablets for children between 12 to 59 months, vitamin A supplementation for children between 6 to 59 months, IMCI, treatment of common ailments, ANC for pregnant women, palpation, BP and height measurement, iron folate, tetanus toxoids, etc., HIV counseling, other participating health facilities and birth registration. Don't be left out. Visit public health facilities for all these interventions. Time 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. This message is from the Executive Secretary, FCT, PHCB Abuja, Dr. Matthew Ashikeni, PMH, FWACP.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Thank you for staying with us. You're still listening to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM Abuja. And this morning we're taking a look at the 3 non-academic staff union of universities that have embarked on strike, NASU, SANU and NAT. And we're trying to look at why it always has to, get down to we are not working until you, respond to our demands and all of that, especially with concern to the effect this action has on the students themselves. Before we went on the break, I was almost saying before we went on the strike. All right, before we went on the break, Olive was trying to share a thought with us. I hope you're still on it.
What I was trying to say is, the sad thing about them embarking on industrial action from time to time is that for them, for the lecturers, for the unions, is a win-win situation, because at the end, what do they really have to lose? I mean, if it takes the federal government 3 months to respond to their demand or release another money to them, they anyhow stand to lose nothing, because at the end, even for the 3 months they didn't, get to work, they will still get their full salary. So I think, like we said earlier, it's now on federal government to see to it that they address, some of the concerns these people raise, because the truth about it is that a lot of their demand, there are things that truly should be done.
Because I really want to say, do we really not have any belief in them that they really want the best for the Nigerian education
No, the truth is
sector?
that we've sympathized with them for a very long time. What we are looking at is the fact that they are not thinking of it that always embarking on strike has a negative effect on the students. I mean, for years, Nigerians have been sympathizing with these unions each time they go on strike. So I think the most important thing at the moment is that federal government should see to it. Let them sit down and, negotiate. If it's on how to end, I don't know if there is a way they can, negotiate with these unions, because we are not looking at this particular, JAG, the umbrella body joint action, this thing that is embarking on this strike at the moment, because I mean, at the end they can call up the strike, and tomorrow ASU will embark on another strike, and then follows us up, and and a whole lot of other university union. Let there be a kind of agreement between the federal government and these unions. If they have any demand, they should channel it, and then government to see to it that they respond to it too on time, so that we don't have a situation where we waste 6 months at home, and
it looks
at the
like
end, they still do what they are supposed to do.
It looks like either party is taking the other for a ride, because each time they sit and they discuss, I'm sure promises are made. They sign a memorandum of understanding, and they look forward to better things happening, and when it's not forthcoming, I think that's when they go back to strike, which they feel is at least a language that government also understands, and because of that they would.
Yeah, the reasons why they go on strike is because the demands are not met. Usually they sit on the table, and then by the end of the day, they always say the federal government does not do their own part of the agreement, so they resort to. But I think as researchers, they should begin to research into the repercussions of these strikes on students in Nigeria, especially now that we are at a point where everybody is crying about this decay in the standard of education in the country. They need to research and know that the effects of these strikes will cause more harm. It's always causing more harm than good. We understand with them. The students are our children. The universities are our own. But we need the infrastructures built. We need all the things that they're talking about to be done, fine. But then by the end of the day, as long as the life of the university continues and students will still be in school, let's find a way that we can, manage these situations and let the children have the quality of education, at least the ones that can have, let them have. Because by the time you begin to break these academic sessions, you rush them up, and then you break, and then you push them, and then you keep them at home for 6 months, 1 year. It's damaging. It's damaging, really.
All right. Let's hear your contribution in this regard. The number to call is 081-8999-1011. That's 081-8999-1011. We're looking at the strike currently going on from the non-academic staff unions in universities. So what is your contribution to this topic? Hello? Okay, I had to end that. Please stay away from your radio the moment you're calling into a radio program. Please turn the volume completely down. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello? Good morning. My name is Musa. I'm calling from Asokoro.
Okay, go ahead, please.
My take on this acid issue, I don't know when the university lecturers or university workers that will come to an end. There's no government that all these people will not say anything about the strike. What about these people building the private university? Who are these people building private university? Most of these people that handle education sectors or the lecturers or other people that hold government and this appointment, they're the ones building the private university. Why are they building private university? Because they know they have not done anything good to all the government universities, government institutions. When we were very small then, the government, all these government institutions, government school, higher institution and other things, we used to know all this. I can remember one of my uncle that graduated from years back when we were kids then. He graduated and they gave him a car like that. But today, those kind of things doesn't happen because there's no quality in the audio school, because anybody that is being appointed to hold the federal universities or the state universities is thinking of how to get money to go and do private universities so that you can make money from that. Because that is what they do. They don't believe in federal government institutions to be okay. Let me just pray this will be better, because these people are not helping matter. Every week, can't you go on a negotiation table? What about other people? If the military now say, okay, we are not, since federal government have not been giving us anything good, then we want to go on fire or what? Will they be able to go to that school and be lecturing people or to work in that environment? They should, for God's sake, they should be able to do what they're supposed to do. It's not every time you strike. What are you striking for?
Okay. All right. Thank you for your contribution. Okay. 08189991011. That is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. What is your contribution? What suggestions do you probably have in this regard? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please stay away from your radio.
Okay, please, I actually want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
After strike, please, are they entitled to what they go on strike for?
Are they entitled to what?
Yeah, I mean, I think they are having a request from government.
Yeah?
Are they entitled to that?
To what they are requesting for?
Yes.
Okay, you need to stay away from your radio, please.
Okay, I'm away.
Okay, so let's assume it's their entitlement. What do you think about it?
No, what I'm trying to point out there is that if these people are entitled to this, they should be given.
Okay.
Why is it only, let me call it teacher all the time? Our senators are there, do they own them? These people are the one, I mean, they are the one strongly moving up and down for the development of the whole country entirely, if I may say. Because they are the ones that impact this knowledge in we students. You understand?
Yeah, I'm listening.
So please, as far as government can afford 2.something million for cheaper grades, each one of them per semester, they should be able to pay these people.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your contribution. Interesting there. 08189991011 is the number. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
My name is Mike, Change Advocate.
All right, Mike. We're listening.
Yeah. My own contribution in this strike issue is this. I want to draw a lesson from an incident in the Bible when two women were laying claim to one child under the reign of King Solomon. I don't know if you remember that. Hello?
Yes, we're listening.
As I said, I want to draw a lesson from that incident when two women were laying a claim to one child.
Okay, go
and they brought the case before King Solomon. And King Solomon said the child should be divided for the two of them. The woman that really owns that child, that have a stake on that child, said no, they should leave the child for the one who doesn't own it. But the one who doesn't own it said they should divide the child. The point I want to make from there is that these people in our government, they don't have a stake in our education. Their children are not there. So whatever happens, no matter how long they go on strike, they don't care. What some of us from Change Advocates are advocating is this. We should make it a condition of service that for you to be in our public service, you must patronize our public institutions, our public facilities, our public systems and infrastructures. That is the only way they can do the needful. Just like the last caller was asking if they're entitled. Yes, if they're entitled, they're not giving, what do they do? But to find a solution to this incident strike is for them to be to do the needful in our education and in other sectors, in our other public sectors, until they have a stake there by patronizing those things. The last time anytime I talk about it, the response I always give is that they can't force anybody to patronize anything. We're not forcing anybody. Let us make it as a condition of service. If you are coming to seek employment in our public service, this is what you must do. If you don't want to go to the public sector or to the foreign field that you are sending your children to. It is on social media not quite long, I think about a week or two ago, where the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Universities Commission was celebrating his own son graduating from a foreign university in the UK. What we hope to achieve with that? So until we make them to patronize these different institutions that are pioneering or that they are looking after, they will not do the needful. The last time I also checked, when ASU went on strike the last time, they said the strike is over, agreement reached in 2008. 2008, and I'm sure from 2008 till now, other issues have cropped up. So they don't have to overflow the issues until they have a stake in this our public system, they will not do the needful, and until we also urge it on them to patronize this thing, we sing the same song till the kingdom come. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Do you think, what the scholar just said, the possibility of this whole problem lingering and all that is because probably many of our public office holders don't really have a stake in this, like he mentioned.
We've always said that. Not just the strike. The whole education system, the decay in the education sector will become history. if we make it compulsory for public office holders to have their children enroll in universities in this country. But then making it possible also depends on them, because we can only say, if there is going to be a law to ensure that happens, who makes the law? So it's something that they are the ones who would decide. If it's possible, we can only try to push them to do that. We can only continue to talk and hope there is a change.
In which case, they would want for the sector to progress, to succeed, to be one that will be envied by other people if they have their own children.
Of course, the reason
schools.
why people send their children abroad to school is because they know that the education system in Nigeria has collapsed or is collapsing. They want the best. They want quality education, and they know that there's no quality education in Nigeria. That is why they're sending their children to schools abroad. But if their children will be in schools here in the country, in the public schools especially, not the private institutions, the public schools, for instance, they will ensure that the basic infrastructure needed to give their children this quality education will be provided. Because, you have the knife, you have the yam, is that what they say? So that's just the common sense about that advocacy. And we believe that it can happen. But then how do we achieve that? That's the thing. Achieving that will be a tall thing to do or to... So we should look at how we can end this, as a matter of fact.
Except maybe, as a people, if you look at it like if a particular person is seeking for an elective position, you now insist.
And I think that's what he's saying.
To look at that as
that for anybody coming vying for a public office,
how many of your children are in schools in Nigeria?
No, but a lot of times they don't even send this. It is when they come and they begin to make monies. A lot of that's when they begin to send their children out. So as they're coming in, their children may be in the universities at home, but by the time they get into government or into power, they now have the monies to send the children out. So
interesting. All right, then. Let's hear from you. 081-8999-1011. Hello?
Hello. Sorry, this is Martin. I call back again.
Okay.
Yes, the idea of how that it is treated in government that will also pass the law, if we want to pass the law, is this. One thing we've also identified is this use of voice vote that our legislators all around across the country are using. That is what is making things not to see the light of day. We are also insisting that they should make use of an electronic voting device so that we can keep track record of how they represent us in passing bills and motions. By the time that is done, we can track. Okay, look at the track. If for instance, if we want a bill passed to make sure that all people in public office have their children in a public education in Nigeria is brought to the National Assembly or whichever legislature, and maybe my senators went and vote no. Now we can have a record and say, okay, when we go back to that record, the next time we say, oh God, this is not the one, we don't vote you back again. But this voice vote that they use eyes and names, we don't have any record, and so whatever it is they do, we don't know. In other same time, it is such a record that people use in returning back their legislators back to the house, or even use to record them or allow them to be. But this voice vote, they are using it to defraud us, that are playing hide and seek with us. So if we have a track record of how they vote in bills and motions, we can any bill we want as citizens, we can have it passed. If we don't want to pass it, we know how to vote them out. But now that we don't have any record, whatever it is they do, they don't have the day. Like particularly the Senate now, the Senate is turning to almost turning to a form of ex-governors. They are collecting pension, collecting all allowances from their state government, and also collecting the same thing from the Senate. Where do we go with all of this? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution there. All right, let's see how many more calls we can get before we end it. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to X-Ray.
My name is Ayuba, calling from Abuja.
Okay.
Yeah, I want
you
to
need
find
to
out,
stay away from your radio, please.
To reach Nigerians, whether their children are schooling.
All right. Sorry, we lost that call there. 081-8999-1011. Please stay away from your radio when you're calling in on the program, or completely turn down the volume. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome. What's your name?
Amo.
Okay.
I greet each and every one of you over there.
Thank
you for the good job you are doing. And thank you for the love you have for the nation. Actually, I'm one of the persons that hates military rule. I think the best thing, we don't have option. They have used divide and rule of tribal sentiment and religion sentiment to divide us. Where are we going? If really the military can come in, it will be far better than all what we are agitating for.
Well,
no people in government, no people in government who are ready to sympathize with us. We are parents. No people trying to sympathize with us. These Nasu people, they are Nigerians like us. They need to be giving their life. They are not giving. The ASU are there. They are not giving. The infrastructures are there. It's decayed. Which way forward? Way forward. We are here in this country when a minister wanted to go and contest election, bringing parents from the unit school, from university, from where he can get money to go and run election. Is this type of election? They have rotten the whole system. Now they are building private universities. They carry out their children to go abroad. When they came, the seat they leave, they will like to replace their children with it. Are we going to die in this country? We are all human beings. We are created by God. Nigerians, please, we beg people in order to please, for God's sake, assist us. If they cannot represent us, let the military come in. Because during the military era, you cannot be doing all these ways and be looking at you, they'll cut you.
Okay.
I don't like military to that extent, but sometimes they incite discipline. Because they are disciplined. What type of a nation are we?
All right, just calm down.
How do I get money to send my children to school? And every day I'm here in Abuja rotting, I don't have money. This is, please.
All right. So
people should help and preach to them. So please.
It's all right. Thank you, but we have to let you go. We have to let you go so we can pick other calls. But thank you so much for your concern. I mean, he's speaking from like he knows where he's coming from. You know, there's a lot of pain somewhere, but then it's we all have our experiences here and there. But we keep hoping for a better society there. 081-8999-1011 is the number to call. You can call in and let's hear your contribution as well as regards this topic. I think we have just okay, we can pick one more call at least before we end. It's here today. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to X-Ray. What's your name?
Sorry, I will not mention my name because of security reason. If Nigeria will ask a question, we're supposed to ask a question that who is the Minister of Education 2009 that make a promise between ASU and the federal government. And up to today, Nigeria we cannot come out and tell ourselves the truth. Where are we heading to? Where are we heading to? I know the Minister of Education 2009, all the children school in abroad. None of his child. I know him. And I know all the children. What are we telling ourselves? What are we encouraging this country? And if I said people run away and came and stayed at the Senate, what are they? What? My sister, I am sorry. We only pray Nigeria will change one day.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much for your contribution.
I think very soon it will get to parents and students, refusing to pay for semesters that they were not taught. And then even until we get to that, we'll still keep having issues like this. Because I mean, by the time you ask me to pay for a semester, you didn't teach me anything, and I say I won't pay, and everybody refused to pay. The money they are supposed to remit back to government to also reduce. And when it comes to...
Because the extra years these students also bag, I mean, they have to pay for it, not because of their own... Yeah.
And a lot of the parents are not even buoyant enough to continue to pay. By the time you prolong the duration of the period of school, it's extra monies really, and things are really hard for most parents and Nigerians as a whole. I think the federal government should The education sector is one sector that we think should even be the best amongst equals. It should be the ones that we should be catering for in the first instance, because that's where we have inventors, that's where we can raise people who will run this country, that's where we can raise the society that we desire. So by the time we neglect that kind of, our economy, everything that concerns us will be as a result of the quality of education that we give to our people. So it's very key. Federal government needs to sit down and look at the recommendations or the demands by these unions. One, they're talking about building the infrastructure of the universities. Of the schools, which is very key. We've been talking about lack of teaching aids, lack of, all the things that is needed for us to develop our skills as Nigerians. And then, so what's wrong in that? And I think this country is rich enough to provide the necessary facility that we need in our institutions to ensure that the quality of education is improved upon. So I think the government should sit down really and prioritize and know that education is one basic thing that they should put at the front burner.
Well, except education have ceased to be the bedrock for national development. Or, like she said, I think, and I know a lot of Nigerians also think same, that federal government really needs to show more concern for that particular sector. As it has to do with strike, the reasons why these unions embark on strike. Even not just at the university level, even at the secondary school, primary school level, they should actually show more concern to the plight of teachers. They should be more sensitive to their welfare.
All right, then. Thank you so very much for being a part of the X-Ray this morning on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. And we do hope that in the subsequent days to come, and we should find solution to some of these major problems that society has been going through. And many thanks to the callers as well. We'll make a return on the program tomorrow, but stay with us on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. I'll be back in the 10 o'clock hour on Pro Bono Chambers. Stay right here.